Good morning, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. And man, whoo, we are here. We made to the final dance of the football season. I'm excited. I am thrilled. I cannot wait to talk Eagles football. But before we do any of that, we gotta save the main course for a little later because we got some
Pause. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Dom. We got Dom Lewis joining us.
Yes, we got Dirt Diggler himself, Don Lewis, and Magic Mike.
Yes, and we got, of course, our boy Al.
Hi, Albert.
But I just got to say.
Hi, Albert.
I just got to say, one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Well, what's that?
Well, you figure Al's wearing green.
Correct.
Dom's wearing green.
Yes.
I'm wearing green. You're wearing Barney purple. What is up with that shirt on today, Pat? No violation. Got to get called.
When you have a busy night like I see, Mike, this is the difference between you and I. This is the difference right here because you.
I can list the differences if you need to, Mike.
But look, you follow line. But see, when I was in Boy Scouts and my Boy Scout leader, Mr. Henderson, had me sleep in his favorite tent.
Pat.
Yes, sir.
No, we're not going there.
What happened?
Coffee's not even 2 sips.
I'm just letting you know where I spent most of my nights.
No. It's Sunday morning. It's the Lord's Day.
Save that for the therapy couch.
Yes. I just want to know why you're wearing a Grimace shirt today. It's Super Bowl Sunday and you're wearing plum purple.
Well, time is around the corner, and we're going to have a Super Bowl here, Mike.
Hey, Dad, what time's tea time?
I just want to know. Are you going to go play golf today? I mean, it's only going to be raining and 30-mile-an-hour winds here today.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm excited. This is my way of expressing how excited I am.
I do. It's a mood T-shirt. It's a mood shirt. It changes colors.
Yes.
Purple means
I'm going full commando, Mike.
This is going to be a long.
Thank God we sit down for this one.
Yes. And people have nothing to worry about because it's like finding a worm in the bird nest. Okay. Nothing.
A what?
A worm in the bird nest.
Okay.
That's English for those who.
Yeah.
I'll be your translator today.
I will be translating the Patrick Bernardism.
Dom Lewis will be. This will be his last day here. He said.
Yes.
He just sent me a message. When can I leave?
Dom's like, keep Pat on the other side of this table.
Keep him in his boardroom at the other side of the table.
Man.
I'm surprised you guys haven't felt that yet. But anyway, listen.
Well, we've been telling your wife for years. So keep going.
Listen, we know what day it is. It's Super Bowl Sunday. But however, like I said, we talked about the other teams here in Philadelphia. And last night, the Embiid himself went around New York for the past couple of nights, destroying things in sight. I mean, back-to-back New York teams taking care of them. Unfortunately, you had to beat up on two Villanova products. One, Jalen Brunson on the other night, and last night you take care of Mikal Bridges due to the fact that the Phoenix Suns and the New York Nets came to a deal of trading our man KD for Kevin Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder. You got rid of a lot of pieces for
a lot of first-round picks.
And you got rid of a lot of first-round picks.
Yeah, half of those were probably the Sixers.
Right. So again, you had a tremendous night of Sixers basketball last night. A little sluggish to start the game. You had this team on the perimeter defense has not looked so hot. Ben Simmons actually played decent. We all know this is what the Ben Simmons we fell in love with. He actually was, again, finding guys on the perimeter wide open, and guys like Joe Harris dropping 6 out of 9 3-point, from 3-point land. Very tough to defend. But then again, this team knows how to battle back, and I got to give Doc his due. I don't know what he says during halftime, but this team finds energy. They know how to battle through, they're battle tested. They know how to find ways to win games. And I got to give a guy a lot of credit. PJ Tucker, he's not putting up points. We got that. His defense is okay, but he's a floor general. Look at the way he directs the team where to go and all that stuff.
Tucker's a really good defensive player. But Pat, let me ask you a question. I know you're going over everything that happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
See, my biggest issue with the Sixers is I'm sorry, but I just feel like when it comes down to a team like Boston, And we saw it the other night. They gave Boston their best shot the other night and lost. Like, this is where I keep, like, for all these guys, I mean, I know our boy Frank Finnegan from Passion Avenue Fanatics, he called it that the Sixers are going to the final. I would really like to believe him. I mean, he's been right so far. Well, he called the Phillies going to the World Series. He did call the Eagles going to the Super Bowl. So Frank's 2 for 2 right now. But this one is very hard for me to believe that I see the Sixers going to an NBA final, because they're going to run up against a team like Boston who matches up with them, and they have no answer for a guy like Tatum, and that was shown this week. So this is what's curbing my enthusiasm, you could say, with this team going to an NBA final. I just have a feeling that when it comes time and they got to play a team like Boston, the road's going to end.
Right. And listen, I totally agree with you. And I think, again, this might be, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. I'm not trying to look down the yellow brick road. But however, I think this is going to be another second round knockout. Because
I said that.
Yeah, you did call it.
And how bad was I getting roasted
by
all our boys? I mean, granted,
Listen, I don't think it's a crazy thought that could happen. I also play a factor into that. We have that mentality now. We just kind of are ready for failure.
Right. True, but I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it objectively from just the teams in the East. I mean, listen, the East is where it is. I don't care about guys who moved over to the other conference. That other conference, it don't matter who that from that other conference gets to the finals. Whoever's from the East is going to smoke them. And listen, can the Sixers get there? Yeah, they can. But to me, it doesn't seem like it, because it seems like no matter what they do, when they go up against the Celtics, they find a way.
That's the problem there. You're absolutely correct. Watching that Celtics game is probably make me agree with you more that it's not going to be a finals run.
And the scary fact that the other night, and the Boston Celtics had 4 starters out, and you're getting lit up by Blake Griffin on the perimeter.
Dude, they left him so wide open. I mean, dude,
I was getting roasted for that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, him and the popcorn guy were having a conversation while he was loading up, ready to shoot a 3. Again, like, this is what I'm saying. And Gus brought it up to us. Remember when we had the attacking third guys in with us?
Mm-hmm.
Gus brought it up, and me and him agreed when they were when they were questioning me about why should we trade Embiid. Like, look how much they got for Kevin Durant, right?
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. You don't think the Sixers couldn't get a haul like that back for Embiid? This is what I'm saying. I kind of put it off on trading them this year as far as like in season trading.
Right.
But in the offseason, dude, you got to look at that as an option. You are running out of time with him. Those big guys don't last forever.
No, and it's a small window. But Dom, I'm going to go to you. What did you see from last night in the Sixers team? I mean, again, being down early, being down by a lot, but they battled back. Again, Spencer Dinwiddie's shot just got off at the wrong time, and it took his points back. But I mean, if that was the count, it would have been a Sixers loss. But like I said, I'm worried about the Sixers perimeter defense. They are lacking in there. What do you see?
All right, so good morning, everybody. Go Birds, first of
all. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Here's what I see. So I've looked at Sixers over the last, I guess, like 5 or 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've seen, I agree with you, Pat, as far as like the perimeter defense. What I also see as far as offensive end, I don't see enough from everyone else. What I see is Embiid and Harden, and then the others not getting enough for the Sixers' offensive production. So they're lacking in that part. And I listen. The Boston loss was very like I had the same feelings as a lot of Philadelphia fans had. Like, as far as they can't get over this Boston hump. It's the same thing over and over. Same thing every single year with Boston. Like, Sixers just can't beat the Boston Celtics. But you got to look at it this way. The playoffs are 7-game series, right? So you're gonna whoever you play in the first round, whether the Sixers get the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed, whoever they play in the first round, they're going to just maul over. They're going to probably beat them in 5, right? The problem is when you come into the 2nd round, you're going to play probably either the Bucks or get lucky to play Cleveland Cavaliers. Right? I think this year, it's a little bit different. Like, I know people get on PJ Tucker as far as his offensive production, but
that's PJ Tucker's game.
Yeah, you got to look at PJ Tucker and what he's going to do in the playoffs. Like, you have to project almost.
Right.
So I know people hate, like, they see what they see now and they hate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to look at this team is not built for now. It's built for winning the 7-game series in the playoffs. And yes, it's probably gonna come down to the Sixers in Boston. It's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to you trying to stop Tatum and trying to stop Brown. That's what it's going to come down to. And the Sixers defense, perimeter defense, is not good at this moment. It's not. But you got to remember, you're going to play a team in a 7-game series. So you'll have time to adjust back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's not like going out every single night and adjusting to a different team's game plan or a different team having a new game plan every single night. You're playing the same team in a 7-game series. You'll have time to adjust in game. You'll have time to adjust game to game. And what I see right now is a team that just won. They're not getting enough offensive production for everyone else. And right now, they probably just need some reps. Like, I think that, they got to get the All-Star break. They got to get their guys rested. Like, Embiid has been on a tear, but right now he just probably needs some rest. Like, he hasn't really taken a game, like, off. Like, you haven't sat him out for any game for rest right now. Like, they've sat other players, but they just probably just need some rest. They needed time to just recharge and just kind of hit the remaining 25 games after the All-Star break running. I got them winning 54 games
Right.
this year. So I think that it's very doable. The way I matched the schedule, I scheduled a loss there, scheduled a couple things there. So I got them winning 54 games at the end of the season. I think that's very possible that they'll do that. Right now, you gotta just grin and bear it right now. You gotta grin and bear it.
Yeah, and like I said, you touched on a couple things here. Joel Embiid leading the league in points average. You got James Harden leading the league in assists average. Joel Embiid 5th in blocks, and D'Anthony Milton 4th in steals. But like you said, you would need better production from everybody, and Maxey. And look, and that's another good sign from this week. Maxey coming off the bench gave you a lot of positive energy. He's been playing well. He's fire. I mean, he's up and down the court. And then again, he gives you some massive production. But again, the X factor in all this, who's kind of been the man on the back of the milk carton, has been Tobias Harris. Again, last
when
night.
Tobias is doing good, we love him. When Tobias is doing bad, we hate.
Well, it's because the trade deadline passed.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
It's not wrong. You're not wrong. It's
I
always
mean-
anytime that man comes up in trade discussions.
Dude, he comes up in trade discussions, dude. He's a world beater, and then he'll disappear for a little bit. But I will say this though, come playoff time, he's proven he's one of the Sixers that I can rely on when the postseason starts.
Right.
As much as we talk about Tobias Harris during the regular season, come playoff time, he's money. He tries to earn his contract. You know what I mean? So in my eyes, okay, he may not earn it over an 82-game season, but come playoff time, that dude's money. He's been money the last 3 years in the playoffs for the Sixers.
And here's the thing is, I'm going to agree with what Dom said. The rest thing, I get it. The other problem is it's coming out of the All-Star break. They hit the ground hard.
Right.
I mean, they have the Rockets game tomorrow, and then they have the Cavs game both in Philly, which
And then they take a
Rockets
break.
they should win, Cavs should win. Then it's on the break. But coming out of the break, you're looking at the Grizzlies, the Celtics, back-to-back Heat games, the Mavericks, the Bucks, and the Pacers, who always seem to give us.
So you got a little bit of a gauntlet going through.
Yeah, and that's just till March 6th. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get much better. I'm looking like you got a couple games against like the Wizards, the Hornets, a couple back-to-back with the Bulls. You see the Phoenix Suns. You see the Durant Rams, just Phoenix Suns at the end of March. But I'm looking at this. A lot of top. There's not too many teams here that I'm looking at from here to the end of the season who are in the top 8 of the Eastern Conference or the top 8 of the Western Conference. So it's going to be a gauntlet.
Yeah. So
like you said.
again, it's going to be a tough, slow road. But to reflect on last night's game, again, I was thrilled to see what the Sixers, did. In the past 2 games where they've been down and luckily they've been counted out. Again, we all know Philly, New York. It's always a dogfight. It always gets scrappy. It always comes down to the wire. And what I saw from this team is grit. And again, PJ Tucker showing me he's a floor general, directing traffic, directing the defense where to go, and especially coming out of that second half because that first half, I mean, my God, I mean, like I said, Blake Griffin the other night lighting it up, Jalen Brunson lighting it up, and then last night, Mikal Bridges and Joe Harrison were really, really, giving the Sixers the business from the perimeter, and that's what's scary because we can't match firepower from the perimeter. We don't have it. You saw the last night's game. You saw Embiid tearing up in the paint. That elbow jump shot he's got going on, and you got to rely on James Harden doing what he does best: read a defense, look for the mismatches, look on the guy on the perimeter that's open, and make give the guys their best shot. That's what you got here. Oh, look who's here. My man, Sean Kilran. What's up, Blue Oyster? He said, what's up, guys? I'd love to see Mikal Bridges instead of trade for him. Yeah, I do too.
Listen, I was actually wondering. I doubt the Nets would do that, but I said they had a couple second-round picks and all that. And if this team, if they're trying to load up on picks and just trying to unload, I agree with Sean. It would have made things right that the Sixers screwed royally.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still can't get over that they were stupid to trade.
Yeah, what happened to the guy that we had? Is he even playing now?
No, they're not even. And again,
I remember
talk about Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Trust me, we're gonna get into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this Sixers team, like I said, a good tough win last night. I mean, Al, what was your take though from yesterday's win?
Should have been that tough. I mean, listen, you got a couple of new pieces to a team that you don't know how they were going to gel together. And I think part of it, they went in that game going, Durant's not here, Kyrie's not here. This will be simple. And Mikal Bridges is a player. I mean, he's a fighter. He ain't going to roll down. I mean, he was their top point scorer in his first game in the Nets uniform. But Nick Claxton also he was playing defense. He had 4 blocks last night. I mean, again, here's my problem over the last week and a half is I feel like, and I think it goes with what Dom was saying. I don't know if it's tiredness or looking past things, but they just seem to be they're being outpaced.
Right.
And that's my key thing. They seem to be getting ran past or trying to play.
Legs. They got tired legs right now.
Trying to play keep up, and young teams like the Magic, the Thunder, guys who probably are just playing to have a spot on a team next year or showing off for the team, coming that they look at them the following year. They just seem to get totally outpaced.
God.
Yeah. So look again, we had some big news go down Sixers wise. Not too much of a big trade. What did you guys take on Jalen McDonald's coming in here? I mean, not really a big household name, obviously.
Wasn't that the guy that that was the guy I think Sully was bringing up, right? He kept bringing it up on his show, saying that the Sixers could get him.
Who?
McDaniels.
Jalen McDaniels.
Yeah.
Jalen McDaniels.
He played last night, right?
He played a little bit, got 5 points. He was only there for 15 minutes. So I hope he's going to be a nice addition off the bench.
A nice 3 towards the end to kind of close the gap.
And then what's up, Grimace? Come on.
Sean,
you gotta get called out. You gotta get called out.
Dude, I'm sorry. It's hard to me.
This is why he wanted to start the show an hour early. This is exactly why.
I got to get back to McDonald's. Come on, Sean.
Bro, listen. Now I know why you want to start the show early because you try to skate by with people not seeing you in that shirt.
Exactly.
Guys, it's laundry day. I wasn't prepared.
Exactly. You know what? That's my excuse. It was laundry day. Play Monique. So anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have to blame Monique.
Oh, you mean
she probably dressed
Saint Monique? Yeah, I'll blame her.
Yeah. But anyway, and we had other big news. How about our man? Wants to leave the Sixers. He put in a request to leave.
Put a fork in him.
Put a fork in him.
How about the Turkish mania wants to get out of here? And
he's not playing, so I mean, I guess he figures he can take his talents elsewhere. Maybe he can take his talents to Miami.
He does not matter. When the request came out, I laughed just like I just laughed this now. I was like, who cares what you want? Who are you to make even any kind of demands on this team at all? We brought you in to be a 3-point shooter, and you don't even do that. So
no,
I mean, honestly, they just probably couldn't package them in any kind of package.
Nobody wanted them.
Nobody wanted them.
You know what they should do? They should send them down the whatever letter league it is now. It was
G
G League.
Oh, sorry, it was the D League for a while now.
Well, it's because it's the Gatorade League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they should send them down there.
Sponsor everything.
Just be like, here.
Yes. Some to the Blue Coats.
Yeah.
They'll get plenty of playing time. So, but like I said, again, Monday night, it should be a cakewalk for the Sixers. If you want to see, Embiid go up, this is where, like, I agree with Don. This should be your rest night. This should be, and maybe these guys will be hungover well of the Super Bowl. But like I said, seeing familiar Hey, quiet, Eddie. You shut up. That's my man ED3. I won't be going with him today.
Speaking of ED, how you doing, Pat?
Yeah, right.
So, anyways, again, we'll see. We'll see what the Sixers team is made of down the road. And again, coming out the
To me, like, I'm sorry, I don't get too wrapped up in the regular season with the Sixers anymore. And this is the reason why I don't. Is because we've seen them be the number one team.
Shut up, Eddie.
We've seen them be the number one team in the East. We've seen them be a 3 seed, a 4 seed, and it still has the same result.
Mike is right.
It doesn't, like, to me, this 82 games marathon that they play. Yeah, come talk to me when round one starts, because this team is built to go to at least an Eastern Conference final
On paper.
And you know what? And we can't dog Harden, because Harden's had a pretty damn good year. Can't dog Embiid. Embiid's playing at MVP level. But and Tobias Harris has played very well this season. These other guys, we got D'Anthony Melton's got to pick his game back up again. Maybe give Maxey some more time.
Yeah. So look, man. Again, dealing with a familiar face again with Ben Simmons having all of his buddies left him. It's like that.
Like he had a choice.
Start to wonder there, Ben. Maybe it was you the whole time.
Right?
His boys bowed
He
on him.
deserves everything he's getting right now.
Yes.
By the way, I don't know how much of the game you watched, but there was a good segment, either in the late second or early third, that you heard F. Ben Simmons for like a solid 5 minutes.
Yeah, our fan base was on point yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, speaking on point, a fan base that we know very closely was there, PhillySportsTrips.com. They were up there in Brooklyn, maybe helping cheer that special little cheer along for them. But guys, get on it now. Trips sell out before you know it. There's 2 spring training tickets are out, but there's still Philly's bus trip, Kansas City draft trip, and so many other ones. You can go across the pond to London and Leeds. You name it, they got it. And there's more that I actually have to add to this schedule now, because they just added it. So check out PhillySportsTrips.com. Tell them EOP sent you, and trust me, you will not be sorry. It is an experience. I don't care if you go on a bus trip up to New York or you fly across to London. They also have Italy trips too that are not sports related. So if you're looking to take the wife to Italy or take the family up to Italy, you can Philly Sports Trips. They got what you need. Speaking about what you need to go to Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. It is the place to be at all times. You never knew who's going to stop by. I was just there for their pep rally at the Big D on Wednesday. I was hanging out with Hollis. I was hanging out with Mickey Morandini. We had a good time cheering on. NBC 10 was there. You see my big ass in the background.
Dancing like a cheerleader.
Hooting and hollering. That was me.
I know what that's like.
The girl from NBC, she turns, you. I'm like, what? She's like, you. Get them going. I'm like, yes, ma'am. And so I did what I did. But go to dolansbar.com or check them out on social media, because, like I said, you'll never know who's going to be stopping by there. Hey, guys, listen. You're going to grease up a pole at the end of tonight.
Or have to sue somebody because you have to look at a plum shirt.
Yeah, right. But if you get yourself in a little trouble, call Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. If you get hurt in a car accident, workers' comp, personal injury, and like I said, criminal law, he is your man. He will fight for the justice that you need. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com and tell Dave Cherry that he sent you. And guys, we just talked about all the Sixers games coming up. We got Phillies games. You got Flyers games. You're going to have playoff games. You're going to have other stuff, concerts, theaters, you name it, they got it. Sherry'sTickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. You're not going to get burned at the end of the transaction. Calm down, Pat. At the end of the transaction and find out, there's a $500 service fee for these tickets I just bought. No. Price you see is the price you get. And for an additional 10% off, use the promo code EOP10.
All right, guys. Well, listen, that was our sixth portion show. I want to thank all the sponsors. I want to give them a good shout out. Thank you, guys. And guys, I love Philly sports trips. And like you said, Al, they do a great job hooking up all 5 Philly sports teams. Yes, go Birds. But yeah, Vinny's a good dude. He runs that whole program out there. I want to give Vinny a good shout out. But how about another team? How about I know we're going to be seeing Andy Reid a little later. How about a Flyers team that's in the same kind of predicament? We're going to see a familiar bench boss. We're going to see Dave Hakstol running to South Philly here. Now, this Kraken had been, falling apart a little bit. Oh, on a 3-game losing streak, Dave just ran through a gauntlet. The Islanders, the Devils, the Rangers racking up Tarasenko from the Blues. And made an instant, impact on that game.
Yeah, the Flyers couldn't get him.
No, well, the Flyers, but anyway, but today they come into South Philly on Super Bowl Sunday. Mike, I'm going to go right to you. How you feeling about today?
The fact that both of them played yesterday, it's probably going to be a sloppy game.
Where would the Kraken come from yesterday?
No, they were off. They played on Friday.
They played Friday.
They got waffled on Friday.
Yeah, they played the Rangers Friday, right? All right, so I would expect them to be the fresher team, considering the Flyers did just play yesterday. And
did they stay? Do you think they stayed, or did they go back and come back here?
Oh, they stayed. There's no way you're not going to fly back across country. But the way I think they'll probably be the more focused, the more sharper team coming in. Now, what I liked from what I saw yesterday with the Flyers yesterday is that it's a young team, but they're starting to bond. You know what I mean? Like there was guys taking runs at our scores yesterday, and you saw guys like Nick Delosaurus,
Delorier.
Delorier.
It looks like Delosaurus.
It does.
French names.
I butcher his name all the time, but he was the first one. But you saw that in warmups. In warmups, they were skating by each other, so you knew him and Jared, I think it was. Tanner Jared.
You're right. Tanner Jared.
You knew they were going to go, and then by the end of the first period, dude, you had to separate them. So, they really got it.
Yeah.
That's Delorier's kind of. I mean, he's the enforcer, which
he's the goon.
We haven't had
in a while
since Ratcliffe.
Right.
Yeah. We haven't had that, but. My problem with yesterday is it's the continuing inconsistency, though. This is my thing.
Yeah, they left. I felt like they left Carter Hart to dry.
I'm not blaming him. I'm talking about if you go the last game when they played to this game, there was 2 different games. Discipline right out the door in this game. They have no penalty minutes last game. This game they got 12. I mean, it's the problem. They're not as disciplined. They come off and have this really disciplined game, and they play against a team, and they bring it to OT, and they finally win an OT game, which has been like the MO.
They're 2-10 in OT.
Yeah, but the Flyers, that's been going on since as far back as I can remember.
Yeah, they've never been good in shootout situations.
No. But it's the aggressiveness of the hitting. You see that. You see the blocks; they're all on top of it a lot more often. It's the on and off with shooting at goal, shots on goal percentages goes down certain games. It goes up in other games. But it's just, I'm not trying to poo-poo on their parade, but the problem is the game that they played last, right? They wore themselves out. And kind of, once again, to steal from Dom, they're tired. You can't play game after game after game where you got to pound it out, go to OT, go to a shootout, and try to make things win. They can't. And I think if you look at the stats, it was your article yesterday. They are. I think they're with a lead, with playing from behind, tie game or behind, going into the third. They have only won 3 games.
Yeah,
it's
By the way, check it out. It's up on EOP.com.
Yeah, always plugging it.
Yeah. So,
always.
Well, look again. What I took from yesterday's game, it was physical. It was physical. Hit, a total of 83 hits on both sides, and like I said, Nick Delorier obviously had it out for Tanner, Jeanette, and they went at each other. But what happened was um, Matt Duchene just finding Nino Niederreiter just he wound up burning Travis Sam Hine. He winds up just burning him, and then 2-on-1 against Russell Linen, and that was just easy money for him. And then what I did notice out through the game, like the first period, there was no goals. The Flyers defense has actually been somewhat better for the past 2 games. If you see all the poke checks, all the turnovers in the neutral zone, the defense is there for the Flyers. However, the Flyers offense just can't get nothing.
They were on the back of a milk carton. Like that first period yesterday, the biggest highlight of the first period was the crowd at Wells Fargo singing "Fly Eagles Fly."
Right, and that's pretty bad. And then you have Travis Konecny, 11 games without a goal. He's very streaky like my underwear. So it's not looking good for him.
Not a sight that we need to worry about or hear about, but okay.
Again,
But
I
here's
feel
the
bad
thing.
for your wife.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
Who's doing laundry today?
But here's the thing. If you take notice, like we can't get our top guys hot at the same time.
No,
Like
right.
Konechny's on a, he's on a cold streak, but right now Kevin Hayes is on a hot streak. He scored 10 goals or 7 goals in his last 10 games or something like that. So, like, it's kind of like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't with this team. JVR's been kind of putting the puck in the net too, which has been odd. I thought for sure he'd be out of here by now. But, it's been yin and yang with this team all year. Like the offense will get going, the defense will fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, listen, you just got to give time for, I guess, Tortorella. Like I this season, I told you, it was a mulligan for me. You know what I mean? Because they got to learn his system. He's got to find the right players that can fit his system. Brother Dom, the round table 6'10", checking in.
Yeah, that's my buddy Percy.
Okay, there you go.
Man. Thank you.
Delco guy, I'm
Squad.
guessing. I see the 6'10", automatically assume he's a
My
Delco
man
guy.
Joe. Yeah, what's up, Joe? You have 14 hours of glory. Absolutely.
Pat's just getting in.
Yeah, he did a glory hole.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh,
the home boss, go Birds. But yeah, you look at this Flyers team, and Mike, I totally agree with you. If it's one without the other, I definitely thought though Kevin Hayes did play very well. Again, they're winning battles on the boards. You had that quick little pass from Farabee to Kevin Hayes.
He should have scored another one. Remember in the late second period, he had him.
He missed him.
Hayes missed the puck. I was like,
that's what I'm saying.
had Farabee's been setting people. He's been playing good. And I'll tell you what shocked me yesterday? He dropped the gloves, and that dude was bigger than he was.
Yeah, 6'3". That man was.
Took that dude out. Like
he laid him out.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, again, what the Flyers can do, and like I said, and then you had. I didn't know Kevin Hayes had this. I mean, my man had some geek game to him. I mean, he was using that puck like a spat geek game, geeking game. You know what I mean?
He really took a good deking, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Well, listen, I mean, he was
a solid deking.
He was taking that puck and he was flipping it over like a spatula yesterday. And man, he took it right to Sarios and light up the scoreboard. What got Flyers on the scoreboard, but like I said, they struggled, try and create plays in the offensive zone, and that's where Nashville had them because they just couldn't do it. And like to Al's point, this is where they need help. This is where they need a goal scorer. This is again, they need big time help there. They need a playmaker. They need a guy who.
They need talent.
They need talent.
I mean,
listen,
this is. At
the end of the year, I can say right now you can make a coach of the year comment for Torts in the sense that even if however they end up, if this team has fought and played as well as it have, looking at the talent, it won't happen. Right. But my point is, like, you can make a point that listen, he's taken. I'm talking a lump. I was going to say a lump. I was going to say a lump of clay and molded it into something. Maybe a lump of something else. And he did. Give him that credit. And guys, so if you missed any of the game and you want to catch up on, I did throw the link for Mike Lorio's article up in there. So if you want to check out, like I said, as you point out in the game, they're 1-9 in overtime this season, and 5-4-9 when it comes to third period or a tied third period.
Yeah, and listen,
It's not exactly the winning recipe.
Soros, I thought played a really good game.
Yeah, he did.
He did, and I think he deserved to be the second star of the game. Of course, Duchesne got the first star of the game yesterday because he got the game
Yeah,
winner.
winning goal.
But here's the
Winning
thing:
goal.
listen, when they went into the locker room at the end of that second period until the game ended, Flyers offense didn't come back out.
No.
Like Nashville carried the play. Like Nashville deserved to win that game yesterday. Okay,
I agree.
You can't. You got to be able to put. You got to be able to put some type of offensive pressure on your opponent, especially going to. You had all third. Like
That's why I said they're not very creative down there. And like I said,
it was. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of those kind of tweener Flyers teams that we had. Like after we did the Cup run and the playoff run in like 2004, like between like 2005 to 2008, where we had a team that kind of made the playoffs, but they did the same dump and chase. That's all they kept doing yesterday, and it was really getting under my skin because they were able to gain the line. I don't know how many times. See, I don't listen to national broadcasts because I can't stand national broadcasts.
I totally agree.
So I always put on 97.5 and I listen to the home guys. And I'm listening to them, and Steve Coates is saying they have the line. But when they have the line, what do they want to do? They either do the little dump in behind the net to try to go get it, or they try to drop it back to a defenseman. Which, by the way, can we get a defenseman who can shoot on the damn net?
right. I agree.
Shoot
Well,
on the net.
JVR's just not doing it for you.
No.
Well, JVR's not a defenseman, but But I mean, like we traded for what's the kid that was Tony
D'Angelo.
He's supposed to be a goal scorer, right? I never seen. Oh, another thing too. I've never seen so many post shots in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm sorry, but Carter Hart got lucky yesterday, and I'll tell you what, that game should have been like a 6-3 game. Like there was more iron clanging there than you Saturday night at the Blue Oyster.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but my man Don, like I said, we got Dave Hakstol coming today against this. Looks like they're struggling a little bit against this Kraken team. Can the Flyers?
Can they get Kraken?
Can they get Kraken?
Can they get Kraken in the win column?
Let's see. So I agree with all of you, honestly, as far as the Flyers.
That's your first problem.
No, I mean, so we talked about inconsistency. I was like, you know what? This really comes down to just them being young. Like I think the inconsistencies and them being young just correlates with each other. And I think as far as today, I don't have any X and O's of why they can win today. The only reason I'm going to say they're going to win today is because the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl today. That's the only reason I'm going to say they're going to win today.
I mean, the Kraken are sporting a better record than us, and
they got a better GM.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you're comparing Chuck Fletcher to Ron Francis. Ron Francis has filled up 2 places now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And like I said, this still grinds my gears, right? The damn Rangers go out and get Tarasenko. How long have I been screaming for the Flyers to make that trade? And they probably could have given them JVR. Like they were just looking to get rid of Tarasenko.
And right, they're probably looking at a regression player. And here he is up in New York.
And he's a scorer. Like he could come here. He could come.
He's an elite player, Mike.
Right. And
he could literally matter.
And he could literally come here, help this team, and they don't move on him.
Put him on the first line. You guys like that, you don't turn away from.
I got a question for you guys.
Take him to the zoo.
I got a question for you guys. So one of you said they got to get the players to fit towards the system.
Yep.
So who do you see like in the near future? I'm talking about like within a year from now.
It all depends.
Who they can get in order to fit his system.
You gotta look at the free agents. Free agents coming up. Like I do like the nucleus of this Flyers team. I do. And you're right, Don. They are young, and I guess that's something that we're not really looking at, Pat. When me and you talk about this team, is that the Flyers are a young team. You know what I mean? Like most of their guys are 25 and under. Most of their guys. So, and you got to figure too, you're going to get Couturier back next year. As much as people kind of poo-poo him,
I do.
Well, you shouldn't because he's always been a defensive centerman. Okay, that's going to help out with this, young defense. Plus, I think, like I said, a lot of these guys are young. They're getting their feet wet. Guys like Morgan Frost, Farabee. Farabee's been up a couple of years now, but you have Noah Coates.
No Coates.
You got guys like that are, getting their feet wet. Wade Allison, young guy. So the Flyers do have a nucleus here. But it's interesting to see where they go. Now, the only good thing about the Flyers is they do have a lot of money coming off the books this year.
Right.
And the
Right.
salary cap's going up next year
Right.
because of the TV deal.
Right. And look, Mike, I wish I could be there with you to say about this team, but again, I look at this team as
Not
a,
invited.
a bunch of AHL players, a bunch of the misfit toys on an island here. This is to me, and this team, like I don't see Coots being that much of an impact. I mean, the guy's numbers have tripled down ever.
Pat, who's he had to play with?
He's got
Stop. No. Look at who he's had as his lineman.
Yeah, but your GM already came out in a press conference saying this is who we're going to rely on being an offensive firepower.
Right. Well, listen, Coots can play offense, dude. Like you're acting like the guy only scores 10 goals a year.
Yeah,
dude.
5 years ago he was great. He has been nothing ever since. I mean,
So Pat, let
Yes,
me
sir.
just ask you this because I know you got it out for Chuck Fletcher.
So do I. So do I. I want him going as of yesterday.
I want to step on his foot and use his face as a speed bag.
So all right. So at the end of this year, did they fire Chuck Fletcher?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
If they don't,
I'm telling you right now, the guy that they're going to have take over is Danny Briere. That's why they brought him in.
Okay.
And I know Pat poo-poos that because it's a former Flyer. But listen, what I
It's
liked
been
about
the Flyers' MO for a long time.
yeah,
but
you put on that orange and black, you might as well get your tombstone orange and black and put on one of the suites. I mean, you can bury yourself there. You have your memorial there. You don't have to ever worry about leaving. Oh, Dave Yarnell, what's up, buddy? Again, you
Cowboy
look.
Dave, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, you look at this team, and it's just like I said. But however, again, back to this game, they yesterday's game, they've been playing better defense. However, you're going against a team that's been struggling. Probably, is probably going to be pissed off today. And we got that Felix Stiffs. Who's in that today? Because he was going to be part. Yeah, you're going to have Sandstrom in there. What a big giant stiff, waste of money he's been. So you're going to have that.
Weren't you like Toten? No, it was what's the other guy?
The other kid from the Phantoms.
Yeah.
Look, he's been here at Flip, and I should recognize his name more because he's been the only player he's actually pushed Carter Hart to play well. So again, like I said, the defense has been there, but the offense.
Yeah, Carter Hart made some great saves.
Yeah, he did.
Too. I mean, but like I said, though, that game should have been a 6-3 game. As much iron, like there was more iron clanking down last night than there is at
Yeah, my part of the world.
your part of the world.
But yeah, again, like I said, you have a team that's struggling in the offensive zone right now. Travis Connecting needs to find his way. He needs me to get me to believe in that he should be the guy for next year. So,
What do you mean, Pat? Like, come on, dude. Like, hasn't he done enough?
He did. He's been
Hasn't
playing.
he done enough this year? Like,
Well, I guess-
I'm sorry. Travis Connecting's not a guy that I'm worried about bringing back next year. Like, I feel like
No.
he's cemented his spot.
I think everybody. This is the problem.
Wait. 2 weeks ago, you two guys were telling me he's a trade guy.
I think
Yes,
anybody. Listen, on this
anybody-
team, anybody's a trade guy.
Exactly.
Because, but I'm saying at the same time, you can't be like, well, Travis Connecting will do us no good in the future. No, that's not true. Like, listen, it's hard to be really good when you have no supporting cast. It's Jalen Hurts how that worked out for last year. I mean, just look at when you don't have a good team around you, you don't have any talent. This is what you're going to get. You're going to be able to carry this team at times, but sooner or later you got to put the rock down, boy. You got to put it down, and you got to.
It's a very low ceiling. Like I mean,
Yeah.
when you derive the talent, it's a very low ceiling.
And then there's also the
Listen,
mental aspect of being derived talent too. I mean, it's
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Listen, like I said, you got him. I'm just so done with the Ryan Ellis's,
Yes.
the Cam Atkinsons. Like, they can give them their walking papers. Let them go. JVR, let him go. James, thank you for all you've done. See you. Go after some decent free agents. Bring in here. Listen, the Flyers, like I said, Matty B had it right. You're probably like, for them to be a serious cup contender, he said 5 years. I don't think it's going to be that long. I'm thinking maybe 3. Like next year, I think they can make the playoffs next year, but they'll probably be that team that goes into the playoffs and gets smacked.
I think they lose today 3-1 to the Seattle Kraken. I just think that, like I said, the goaltending won't be there for them today. I think again you're going to fatigue legs on the ice.
Yeah, and Seattle's had a day off.
It's day off, so
So-
again, a time to recuperate, time to get things right. What's going on in that locker room. But well, is just keep the optimism.
But I'll tell
that
you
means
what,
they'll win 5-1 Flyers.
Listen, right.
Way, yeah.
Now listen, you're going to be down there, right?
Yes, dollar wiener night.
Right, exactly. Of course.
Yeah.
You got to change
And I
that
heard
shirt.
$1 hot dogs.
You
too.
got to change that shirt before you go down there. Like
Yeah. And
Yes,
listen,
yes.
do me a favor when you get down there, try to get that crowd a little fired up. I know it's Eagles Super Bowl Sunday, but hey, besides doing the Fly Eagles Fly thing, hey, Can we get a "Let's Go Flyers" chant going in that place?
It
It feels like I haven't heard a "Let's Go Flyers" chant in about 4 years.
Well, Mike, it's a lot harder to do when the team is
Right.
on the
And it's on-
scoreboard down
No, listen,
0-2.
right from jump. That's your assignment today. You get that crowd going because you're a nutcase.
Yes,
And I know you'll do it.
yes, I
Stand
am.
up, get that crowd going, start
Yes.
chanting "Let's Go Flyers." Get that building rocking, man. Let's help give these boys. They're going to
Well,
be tired. Let's
let-
give these boys a little bit of boost here.
Mike, absolutely right. But listen, let's talk about the main course
Time
for
out.
today. What's up?
I'm doing my prediction. Since you said 3-1 Kraken, I think that dude's going to make you look silly because Sandstrom's going to make you look silly because you're coming today. You're going to have a mouthful of meat, and I say the Flyers win 3-2.
Wow.
I like it, Mike. I like your positive. I like
He
it.
likes the mouthful of meat, Mike.
Yes. Well, listen, guys, we have the main course meal of today. It's Super Bowl. It's all on the line. Last game of the year for the Eagles and Chiefs. It's the last game of the NFL. Guys, what are you feeling today?
Oh, man, I'm confident.
And now, look, yesterday I was on the Power 32 podcast. Thanks to my man Jason for hooking that up. But however, guys, I've been listening to Chiefs Nation. I know they're razzle dazzle. I know they're excited, but I do feel that this Philadelphia Eagles team, people have sell this team short. They forgot in 2 playoff games they put up 69 points. You know how many the opposition has in total games? 14. 14. I don't see, and I get it. Everyone's cautious because they haven't seen a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, an explosive quarterback. I get all that. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has seen a defense like the Eagles.
Yeah, like this isn't the bang. Like, listen, the best defense they probably played all year was probably San Francisco. But I'm going to throw out what all these pundits have been throwing out. They played San Francisco before San Francisco got good. And because we're getting discredited. If you listen to all the pundits, the Eagles played Jacksonville, but they weren't the Jags yet. Okay, so when they played San Francisco wasn't being San Francisco. Okay, when they won in the Levi Stadium and put up 40 on them. But I will say this Eagles defense is not the Bengals, which they only put up 23 points on the Bengals. I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. If you go back and watch that game a week ago, he had to try to move out and get time. What do you think is going to happen when our defensive line gets a hold of that offensive line? Which, by the way, their 2 tackles given up combined 20 sacks this year. 20 sacks and 53 hurries.
Right.
I'm not trying to hear. Listen, is Mahomes, he's a generational talent.
Yeah.
And he is the MVP. Even with Jalen Hurts having the good year that he had, I think him getting hurt his chances to maybe kind of split that vote. Jalen's had a great year. Mahomes is the MVP. And
he can have that MVP all day long.
Right, exactly. I'll give him his MVP, but I'm tired of people thinking like the Nick Wrights of the world, who, granted, like I've never seen a more biggest homer besides him and Skip Bayless.
Oh,
like
man.
Nick Wright is a joke.
Did you say the biggest homer?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought you said the biggest.
No,
I was like, wait, was
biggest
that a
homer.
word?
That's
what he
Patrick
said, too.
language.
Yeah. I'm like,
But he was on a roll, so I was like,
yeah,
No,
let him go.
like really, have you listened to these people who get paid to do
I
this
don't even
for a
know if
living?
I don't even know if it's homerism anymore. I think it's clickbait.
It's
bull.
got to be.
It's like I
gotta be
know how to
because-
get people mad at me. I know how to get people talking to me. I know how people look at me on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff.
And
I'm just going to sit there and
Like,
S
this
all
dude's
over.
a joke, man.
I'm
Like,
gonna S all over Philly, and Philly's
what-
going to have it.
Exactly. What better way? This is why I brought this on the podcast. Like, I was telling these guys, like, there's not a fan base like Philadelphia. And by the way, good move, Chiefs fans, by throwing your jersey on St. Rocky already.
which, by the way, Nick Wright said that was an Eagles fan who bought a Kelsey jersey just to stick it on there. Like, obviously, Nick, you don't know Eagles fans because no Eagle fan is buying a Kansas City jersey.
Right.
Nobody. Like, no,
And the
I'm
guy
sorry.
who did it, they found out about it. The guy who did it, he's a guy from Philly, and if you read his bio, he goes Chiefs fan, something fan, and the Sixers fan.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
The guy's a
That's a
Chiefs
weird
fan. Now,
combination,
mind
yeah.
you, like, what a lot of people maybe don't realize is there is a huge Chiefs following in South
That's
Philadelphia.
a Chiefs bar.
There's
They
a Chiefs bar.
closed down because of
Yes,
the
Big,
fear.
Big Charlie Saloon. No,
Yeah.
he does it every year. They do it for anytime Kansas City's in the Super Bowl. They go somewhere, and they all
They keep
congregate.
flip flopping. They go, "We're gonna open it. Oh, we're gonna close it. We're gonna open it.
Yeah.
We're gonna close it."
But it just so happens they're playing the Eagles this year, so I guess he's not opening. But so there are a lot of Chiefs fans in this area because of that guy's bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that guy and his family, they're Chiefs fans. Hey, but this whole you could just tell that people don't do their research anymore.
Right, and they don't. Here goes my man Matty B checking into the program.
And no Eagle fan wears purple on the biggest stadium. I know, right, Matt? Get on Grimace.
Come on, man. It's a feel good feeling right now wearing purple. You know what I mean? But anyway, Dom, I'm going to go to you. Break this game down for me. What does the Eagles have to do to shut down Patrick Mahomes? We know he's explosive. We know what he can do with the rock. What to you has to stand out?
Listen, we've waited, I guess, like 200 some odd days for this day. It's been a heck of a journey all season. And I hear the Nick Wrights and I hear the Skip Baylesses and you hear the national guys, you hear the guys from Philly, you hear all this stuff. The one constant with the Eagles is that they've been good all season. They've been good from day one. They've been good. Like, there's no time for you to back out on this team now just because you're playing Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Like, yes, I know that he's Patrick Mahomes. I know he's Mahomes magic, all of that stuff. I remember I even did a breakdown last year as to why the Eagles lost to the Chiefs last year when the Chiefs came to South Philly. At the end of the day, you win the listen, I know it's been said a lot, but it's the truth. Like I can't put it any other way. You're going to win the game in the trenches. So yes, Patrick Mahomes hasn't played a defense like this, but he hasn't played a pass rush like this. It's the actual pass rush is what's going to get the back. And look at it. When you're playing a good quarterback, what makes the playing field equal for all quarterbacks? You get pressure on them. You got to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. This is a team that had 70 sacks. Their front line had 70 sacks. That's just in the regular season. They had like 8 or 9 sacks in the playoffs. So I look at it like there's no how are you going to stop this defensive line? How are you going to stop our offensive line from mauling you and mushing you and getting 6 yards of pop when you rush the ball? How are you going to stop us from controlling the clock? Yeah, I know we probably want to get cute. We probably want to throw the ball around a little bit. But I think that this team realizes they know what works. So we know, like, we want to pass the ball. Yeah, we want to have those explosive plays. But we know at the end of the day, our bread and butter is running the ball, controlling the clock, controlling the line of scrimmage, and getting a pass rush from the quarterback. We know that. And that's really the keys to the game. It's not a complicated thing just because it's the Super Bowl. You got to stick with your bread and butter, what's been working all year. You got to throw out the window. I know they're probably going to come with a couple of trick plays. I know they're going to try to do some misdirection stuff. I understand that. But you just got to be disciplined and got to know what got you here. And I think the Eagles are up for that. I think they know, like, this is what works for us. This is what got us here. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to win a championship. Listen, you can't deviate from the game plan now. This is what works. This is what got us here. This is what's going to get us to the finish line.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And here goes another thing. Like, everyone's saying, like, well, Patrick Mahomes is, like, obviously he's one of the top best quarterbacks under pressure, but so is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's dealt with pressure all year long. I mean, we're talking about one of the premier quarterbacks and only his second year in a Super Bowl. And the dude can run. The dude can squat 600 pounds. The dude is a beast. And people have, again, overlooked this Eagles team because I don't know what it is nationally about this team. Maybe because they know
Mahomes thing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
But I'm literally
cut him off.
I agree.
Cut his mic.
I agree with the round
like,
table. Pound the rock.
And I'm like, if you take away the Mahomes factor, right? Name an X and O way that the Chiefs will beat the Eagles. Just name a way that the Chiefs can beat the. I mean, you can't just say Travis Kelce because at the end of the day, the Eagles have a good enough tight end and they have a good enough receiving core where they can match up with Travis Kelce. So take away the Mahomes thing and name a way that the Chiefs will beat the Eagles.
I agree with
that's
you.
That's what I'm asking national people if they were in front of me today. I'm like, just name a way. Name a way.
And I love
Patrick Mahomes.
I just want to bring up something. I'm looking at the stats from the AFC title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking right here. Like, this is a telltale sign for me. If you have I'm literally looking at it. They ran the ball 20 times. The whole
That's
game.
it?
The whole game. Kansas City Chiefs ran the ball 20
Oh
times.
no, of course, yeah.
They ran the ball 20 times, and they literally had 52 yards. 20 carries for 52 yards. And this is between 5 people running the ball.
Wow.
5 people running the ball. Yeah, Ronald Jones had 1 carry for no yards. Gerald McKinnon, 4 rushes for a yard. McCall Hartman, who's not playing, had 2 rushes for 7 yards. Mahomes had 3 carries for 8 yards. And then Pacheco had 10 carries for 26 yards.
He's their most dangerous running back, by the way, Pacheco. But go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is why I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to run the ball. Everything is here as you're looking at it now. They threw the ball.
Right.
They throw the ball.
Yeah.
Now, this is another interesting point I want to bring up here. If you look at it, they only this is the yards that they gave up. This defense that we're supposed to be worried about. What's up, Insanio? Joe Burrow had 4 rushes for 30 yards. Joe Burrow was averaging 7.5 yards a carry. Joe Burrow.
Right.
Okay. That's
Not known for his running.
Not known for his running. Joe Mixon had 8 carries for 20 yards, about 2.5 yards a carry. Not bad. Perrine had 5 rushes for 22 yards, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. Perrine, like you see where I'm getting at with this? They were able to run the ball. The reason that they had to throw was because they got behind.
Right.
So that's why they had to drop back. And listen, Joe Burrow was playing literally with a revamped offensive line. Like 4 of his 5 guys were out.
Yeah.
Like they had just lost the lineman the week before in Buffalo. So that's why Chris Jones was having a game like that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
All right, guys. Listen, I hate to break up the jacuzzi here, but listen, we got my main man, Rodney Caldwell. What's going on, Ronnie?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys?
Hey, good morning, Rodney.
Hey, so Ronnie,
Good morning.
listen, it's been quite some time since I saw you. The last time we hung out and how we met is at Ocean City, Maryland. We were talking about the podcast and all that stuff, and then I believe it was your young gentleman, your son there, had some incredible hands making some incredible photos in that swimming pool. But look, Ronnie, I want to get down to business here.
Sure.
What's first of all, what's the pulse like down there in Kansas City right now with the fans?
Well, is there a game today?
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. No, I can't sleep. We're all excited. It's probably the same or similar to what you guys have there. I mean, everybody's got Chiefs flags flying everywhere. I mean, I don't think anybody's serving Philly cheesesteak on their menu this week. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect intended, but just stuff like that. The local channels are hyped, just like you can imagine. But yeah, it's a great pulse.
Yeah, I can only imagine what's like down there. I mean, I was on a podcast with a couple of guys from KC, and like I said, I know you deal with a lot of business real estate down there. Like I said, I can only imagine what's like right now because, like here, we're fired up. I mean, people are loaded up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, going to their local Wawas, getting themselves their coffees. Matter of fact, up here we got free coffee today from Wawa, and they're giving kids tomorrow a 2-hour delay because of the Super Bowl. Is it like?
Wow.
Yeah,
Actually, my kids will have off if they win. 2-hour delay if the Chiefs win.
They've announced that if the Chiefs win tonight, I think they're going to cancel schools tomorrow, and so all the kids are out of the course.
That's awesome. But hey, Rodney, this is Mike. Just to kind of piggyback off of that, I want to get your take on the way you guys view the Eagles. What do you think you guys have to do to beat the Eagles in this Super Bowl from a Chiefs perspective?
We've got to stop the run. I think if we can't stop your fast quarterback and the running back system that you guys have, I think it's a done deal. Just me personally, I think that's where, to me, I think it's a simple. I'm a simplest. I always look at it really simple. It's the defenses. Whatever defense shows up the best, that's the team that's going to win. Because I think they both have explosive offenses. I think We know Mahomes' stats. We know Jalen's stats. I mean, those two guys are going to put their teams on their shoulders, and they're going to do their job. It was going to come down to the defense. Whoever can get to what quarterback the most, I think that's where it's at. So we are the Chiefs Nation from the news channels and all the stuff that we're watching here in the city area are saying that it's the run, key in on the run, and obviously, that's kind of what the pulse that I'm getting from here.
Yeah.
The pulse that we're getting from up here is that, more or less, it's for us. It's going to be our defensive line against the Chiefs' offensive line, and I know the Chiefs have a pretty good offensive line, but we kind of take pride in our offensive line here. So we feel like our defense has to go up against the best offensive line every day in practice. Our defense line got 70 sacks this year. How do you feel about Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Hargraves, and Fletcher Cox going up against that Kansas City offensive line? Because it looked like they kind of struggled a little bit with Cincy's defensive line.
Well, they've had some injuries, and they've had moved a few people around in this season. According to the reports, everybody says they're healthy. Of course, I think everybody, whether you're healthy or not, you're going to play this game.
Right.
And so again, I think that is where it's at. I mean, people want to kind of put the emphasis on the quarterback, which obviously you've got to have a good quarterback. So both teams have that. It's going to come down to those matchups, like you just said, completely. Whatever plays that will allow those offensive lines to push through and to get that run going for your guys, that's going to be key for our defensive line. Although, I mean, I think our defense showed up in a way that we, as Kansas City fans, we've always felt that our defense is weak. I'm speaking for myself. I've always felt that they've been weak. And then when we played Cincinnati, I think our defensive line, the sacks that they got and the push that they've got, it showed that, wait a second, there may be a little bit of a spark right there. So I'm going off of that. It's going to be interesting today for sure.
Does a factor of that play into the fact that the Bengals O-line was very banged up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it could be. I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever you're playing up, everybody at this time of the year, everybody's banged up, right?
Sure.
So it's kind of one of those things. It's hard to, we took that as a positive step. I think that's, if you were to look at the Chiefs overall, what are their weakest part is probably has been their defense. I mean, when you have an offense that has, what we've, put up, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. Our defense is always going to be catching up.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod, how are you? This is Dom Lewis. I'm guesting today. So I do have a quick question for you. So I'm just looking at I think the battle is going to be won in the trenches. I know you can talk about this a little bit, but maybe you could tell me just from your perspective, how do you think, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, how do you think those guys actually will compete, or actually, I'm not saying compete, but how do you think they'll actually be successful against the Eagle offensive line, which is known as the number one offensive line in the league?
Well, I think this, and again, I don't mean disrespect. Here's the deal: if the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, I'd be pulling for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those games where I've always liked the Eagles, but I think our defensive line is not been tested as much as maybe they should have been, or could have been this whole season. That they've kind of not had that huge test. And so the Chiefs Nation kind of wonders, well, the NFC comparatively they'll get mad, is a little bit weaker than the AFC, I would say. They'll get mad, they'll hate me on that. But it's like, so we want, has your team been tested? Who have you played enough to be able to prove that? And so I think that's a little bit of you kind of see that through some of the newscasts a little bit. Who has Eagles played this year that have proven that they are that caliber? So you had an 8-8 team in the NFC that made the playoffs this year. Like, that was a little bit weird. What was the who was that team that was 8-8 that made the playoffs that we played? I can't even think of it. But anyway,
yeah, Jaguars who made it.
Yeah, Jaguars. I couldn't on my lip. I couldn't say the Jaguars exactly. So it's like we're, as a Chiefs fan, you're going, man, how did an 8-8 team make the playoffs? And that's the NFC. So we're kind of, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, we kind of wonder if the Eagles have had that true test. So that's kind of what the pulse is here a little bit, that we're kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys got a great team. There's nothing taken away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, like I said, that's been the precaution of this whole matchup, that everyone's, not. I feel like I was trying to speak for everyone in this room. A lot of people do feel like an Eagles victory. I would say more 70-30% Eagles victory, because of the fact of, like you said, yeah, you say a couple things of, Patrick Mahomes being explosive, and who the Eagles have faced. But however, you're 14-3 in this defense. Ranked third of all time. I mean, like I said, you put up 70 sacks. The Eagles can definitely make some noise, and we all know how Patrick Mahomes is. He's very explosive, especially under pressure. But I definitely see, like I said, Jalen Hurts being the same thing, having that pressure. But like I said, it's going to be a decent game with that, and that's how I. Go ahead.
Another factor that I'm kind of curious about, because this is, Jalen's first Super Bowl. Obviously, he's only been in the league, 2 years, right? And so is that a factor that is worth looking at as well? Patrick Mahomes, as young as he is, has been there the last few years. It's kind of like, maybe have a little bit more experience. Could he be a little more calmer at that? That's kind of a factor that's kind of crossed my mind. I wondered how. I'm kind of curious to see how Jalen's going to react to this atmosphere. Obviously, he's a great athlete, but we're not taking anything away from that. But there still is a nerve factor. The Chiefs are they've got most of their defensive back are all rookies. Well, at this time of year, can you call them rookies? But they're rookies, and so there's a factor there as well. How will they show up in this big atmosphere with all the hype and stuff? So there's always those kind of things that I think of as well, that doesn't seem to get as much attention to me. How will they respond? Yeah, they're professionals, and it's a game, and they understand the value of the game and the importance, but how they've not been tested in that environment. That's kind of another factor that I kind of wonder as well. I have a stat that was interesting, that whenever Andy Reid coached for the Eagles, he never lost a game facing the Chiefs. And it's also flipped. Since he's been the coach of the Chiefs, he's never lost against the Eagles. I don't know if you guys noticed that stat or not. That's an interesting stat that to me, that's kind of, wow, that's kind of cool. And what do you guys' take on? Do you guys just like Andy Reid? How's that? I mean, he's kind of like, you guys loved him for so long. He got in the league 99 and started coaching for you guys.
Yes, he coached us from 99 until about 2012, 2013. 2012, he ran his course. Again, a lot of playoff love. He took this team to a lot of, we saw a lot of action here, and he's a great coach, but that's, and I'm going to flip the script on you. We know his flaws as a head coach. Do you see? And I know you're very real. I see your posts all the time on social media. You're the first thing you attack is, I see, you'll make, you'll take shots at the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Are you worried about his playbook? Him falling short in clock management. We all know how Andy dealing with clock management. He comes up short. What do you think?
I've not seen a ton of that. The enemy, their Chiefs offensive coordinator. I often wonder sometimes if he makes more of the calls. It's you never know who's making the call. Head coach obviously is supposed to have the final decision, right? But there's been times that as explosive of an offense as we have, you're wondering why we're doing some of these drop down plays where you need 8 yards and you're having a receiver go out only 2 yards and catch a little drop down pass, and it's like, why are we even calling these stupid plays? So you kind of wonder sometimes if you get lost within the system, right? I think you could say that on almost any coach. But I don't know his past as an Eagles, because the problem is the Chiefs only played the Eagles 8 or 9 times in history.
Yeah,
so there's not a ton of history between these two teams, which is also kind of it's a mystery as to how this is going to all work out as well. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, this is Mike again. Rodney, listen, the one thing I'm going to bring up is I personally, I don't have no ill will towards Andy. I thought he he changed our culture here. With him in the front office. We got to a Super Bowl. We went to 5 NFC Championship games. So I don't have no dislike for Andy Reid. But like Pat said, he kind of ran his course. It was time for a change. One thing I will say about Andy is one of the things that he did here that he still does out there is his time management. His time management's always been horrible. And I'll tell you what, my keys for this game is going to be our offensive line, giving Jalen protection time. Like I said, to me, I felt like there's always been a bias, especially this year. People like to talk about the NFC. Well, I've watched a lot of football this year, and I'm sorry, there's only 3 teams in the AFC that are good. It's the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, the NFC's got 3 good teams too. You had the Eagles, the Niners, and the Cowboys. Because to me, the Cowboys and the Bills are the same team. You know what I mean? They're the same team. So I don't really get where all this bias is towards the AFC. Like they're this big juggernaut type of conference.
It's the quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Like people look at.
But anyway, like I said, I
mean, I don't think Dak. I can't compare Dak. Just a respect. I can't compare Dak the same as Allen.
Sure, it's the same quarterback. It's the same quarterback. I mean, Dak had an injury this year, but Josh Allen was god awful this year. Like, I'm sorry, I've watched a lot of Bills games.
Yeah, I'm not a Josh Allen fan.
Now, how that dude was ever put in the MVP running is beyond me. To be honest with you, I think in the AFC. The 2 guys who played in the AFC title game, those 2 quarterbacks are the best quarterbacks in the AFC, Burrow and Mahomes. And
yeah.
So, I mean, this year, our quarterback was probably the best quarterback in the NFC. And I'll give my guy that because this year.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
But
yeah, and I think he's an incredible athlete. And that's what's scary because we've not played I don't think we've played against a quarterback that has the mobility and the strength to run that you guys have. So that's going to be.
Yeah, I think Andy's record against
I'm watching that like crazy.
Yeah, I think Andy's record against mobile quarterbacks is something like 3-6. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not very good, but
I just don't want us to do any more of these ring around the rosy plays. I think that was a little weird. I mean, that kind of stuff where we got up and I'm sorry. I just didn't like that. I mean, I know they're just having fun, and I think you could take away, they're just trying to let the guys have some fun. But no, just no trick plays. Let's just play football. I don't know. I'm just not into I call it the cute crap. I don't want it. I want the smash mouth football. Run it. Get our guys loose. And we everybody knows that KC is a throwing team. I mean, I don't think we ran for what 3.5 yards a carry, maybe if we're lucky. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but so it's a known fact that we are a passing team, and so let's just go out there and do what we've done all year, pass, and see what happens. And quit these little ring around the rosy game things. I don't like that.
All right, Rodney. Question for you. I want your honest to goodness gut prediction right now.
I think it's going to come down. Oh, you mean who's going to win?
Yeah. Score, win, okay. The whole 9 yards. Maybe even MVP in there.
I think it's going to be a close game down to the wire. I really do. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to come down to our. Unfortunately, I think it's going to come down to our stinking field goal kicker, who's missed so many this year. Late, he's been great, but he had a really bad ankle sprain on his plant foot and couldn't hit worth a darn the first part of the year. And so I think it's going to come down to a late field goal with minutes left. I'm going to say I think we'll win by 3. Pick the score. I don't care. It's going to be close. I don't know. I don't have a score. I've been trying that all night. What's the score going to be? I've been doing different ways, and I can't come up with a number. Right? It's just there's so many mysteries about your guys' offense and how he's gonna treat our defense. I'll go out on a limb here. 42 Chiefs. What would that be? 30 I'll go 42-32. Chiefs by 10.
Wow. All right. Well, look, Ronnie, I want to say thank you again. And look, guys, if you're looking to buy a home down in the KC area, man, go hit up my man Rodney Caldwell, man. He's a very good dude.
You betcha.
And listen, he'll hook you up. So maybe if you guys want to go try out the Ozarks, go give my man Ronnie a shout out. So, Ronnie, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, guys.
Thanks,
Rodney.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. Well, listen. I want to say thanks, Ronnie, for hopping on. But look, I love my man Ronnie, but I'm not feeling that at all. I'm feeling, and I said this.
Yeah, it's like
he's from Kansas City.
Yeah, it's a 3-point swing. It's like a home field advantage. You get 3 points for the home field. So it's his home team, and he thinks it's right down the middle. So he's going to give 3 points towards his.
Actually, he had him winning by 10. Like, I'm sorry,
he said
this Eagles defense hasn't given up more than 7. No, he said 32. He said
42-32. Then he said win by 3.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
But I'm like, what I was wondering, even the points what he was saying, I was wondering, I'm like, is this team really going to score 42 points on the Eagles defense?
Yeah, considering we've only given up 7.
I can't see that. Like,
no, again, I just see the birds, and I've told this to a lot of people. Everyone thinks it's going to be a lot of people think, a lot of people think this is going to be a close game, and I don't. No, and I don't. I think the birds are going to smash it up.
I mean, Pat's very confident. I've been getting that vibe from him all week long, talking to him. I mean, if you think about it, I got a picture of him here getting ready for tonight.
Yo, this is going to be Pat at 11:30 tonight. Our man right here, Grimace. This is what he will look like tonight.
Getting all greased up, ready for the ball. Woo! He throws extra grease on just to make sure.
Wow, that's classic. But yeah, I definitely see this game not going to be close. I think the Birds win 27-10.
He said calling a wellness check for that dude. Listen. I mean, you got to. Chiefs fans are a different breed. I know a couple of them, and I'll tell you what, they are just as loyal as we are when it comes to our team.
Oh yeah,
they are, and they
are
just
not as much as we are.
Yes, I mean we go overboard with our teams, but I will say this, man. Listen, that's a cool fan base, and if you ever get a chance to go to Arrowhead, I strongly suggest you do it. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Great barbecue, which by the way,
been there.
Yeah, same here.
I've never been, but
no barbecue today. All right, they're not doing Philly cheesesteaks in Kansas City. We're not doing Kansas City barbecue here.
All right, well, just
let me ask you guys.
Pork and, that's the problem is, like, there's so many things that we consider under barbecue, but it's not barbecue. Like, if you had burgers, that's barbecue. If you had hot dogs, that can be barbecue.
Hey, listen,
who the hell's eating? Well, never mind. He's eating hot dogs.
I eat hamburgers, hot dogs. I'll do that. I got pulled pork on the crock pot.
No KC barbecue.
I got to ask you guys a question.
Philly barbecue.
Will this be strike 3? Will Philadelphia sports go thrice? We had the Union who fell short in LA.
My God, you're going to bring all this up? You're going to do this right now?
Hey, listen, it has to be said. The Phillies fell short.
You're like the guy who's about to have coitus with his wife, and then you bring up all the dumb shit you did over the week.
Hey, listen,
to see if we can keep her going.
I'm going to stop you right there, Pat. I'm going to stop you. So
sooner or later, it's got to break, right?
Listen, that and plus, I'm a very positive vibes guy, right? So I told myself this week I wasn't letting no negativity get to me. Like nothing. And especially today. I said I'm not letting any negativity get to me today. Not today. Not today.
Listen,
your kid can get on your nerves. Not today. I'm sorry. Your wife can get on your nerves. Not today. I'm sorry. It could be bills. It could be whatever. It's not happening today. I'm sorry. Listen, you can't think negative like that. You can't think, oh, it's just going to be. You can't think the woe is me. You can't think that way. You just got to be positive. It's like, listen, all positive energy, all go Birds all day, all go Eagles all day long. Like, all day long. You got to just have that vibe. You got to have it like, if we're going to win today, you got to be actually expecting it like, we're going to win the Super Bowl today.
Well, look, I want to feel that optimism. But listen, I'm going to go around the table. I'm going to get everyone's last prediction and how they win this game. Al, I'll go with you. How they win.
So to go with what you were saying, like, we had 2 championship runs and both fell short. The difference in this one is, and I think, Dom, you said this earlier, we are the best team. And we've been the best team all year long. The Phillies were not the best team all year long. they made it. That was an amazing run. What made it more amazing is that they were able to play that well and bring it together at the end. I mean, there were some people, maybe some people at this table here, who thought they might even make the playoffs towards the end of the season because of the way the Phillies were playing. The Eagles, we kind of knew the playoffs were a done deal by like week 5, 6, 7, something like that. I mean, and then we saw some injuries. They all got a little nervous, but as they healed and some guys played through it, they have not, batted an eye. I mean, Lane Johnson is playing with a core muscle injury, which is terrible. It's one of the worst things. I had a core muscle injury and I couldn't walk down steps. I was such a baby. This guy is pushing big, monstrous, defensive monsters who are like the best in the league, apparently. Close to. And keeping them out of the backfield.
Did he even play?
Yeah. There was a milk carton at one point for him. You got Jalen Hurts, who is cooler than the other side of the pillow. He does not let anything frazzle this guy. He's ready to play. You got the best O line in the whole NFL by far. I mean, leaps and bounds. Not just like they're number one and then there's number two. No, there's one and then they start with 6. That's how many leaps they are above people. Spags, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, was being interviewed the other day, and he gulped when they brought up the offense. Like, how do you handle the offense? Like, I mean, he's not going to tell you his game plan, but he's like, it's not going to be easy. And then on top of it, our defense is top tier, one of the top tier defenses in the league. I give Patrick Mahomes all the credit in the world. I really do. I think he's a really good player. He's not playing 100% as well as I don't think Jalen is either. But these guys know how to step it up and play well. But you got him, you got Travis Kelce, you got one guy, Chris Jones, on the defensive side. You got Schuster on as a wide receiver. The other wide receivers are pranged up. I don't think they're able to run against us. I don't think they're able to stop our run. I really don't think we have to change our game plan too much. I don't think Philly is going to need to be done. I mean, if it does, it does. But I'm sure the thing is about having this playoffs. We didn't have to reach into our bag of goodies to really trick people or throw people off. We played a very constant, I want to say almost vanilla-esque type football game in 2 games. Only let 14 points up in 2 games. I think this is an Eagles win. Now, it's not going to be easy. I'm saying 28-20. I'm just saying the Chiefs are going to have to try to make a big comeback at the end, and they're going to fall short. And you don't have to. Hassan Reddick doesn't have to sack Patrick Mahomes all the time. But just make him throw off his back foot, make him throw off balance, keep him in the pocket, and they'll do that. And I think this will be a win, and I think we will all be greasing up some poles.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I got to ask you one more question. It's the Super Bowl. This is Andy Reid fell so many times short here and didn't make. Is it going to be more hurtful on his pride that we beat him at this stage, or is it going to be more hurtful for us, him beating us at this stage?
On Wednesday's show with Joe, we talked about having been here a bunch of times. How they've been here, they know what they're doing. There's also a minus to that. The minus to that is if you keep falling short. Now he got his. Don't get me wrong. But if you keep falling short at certain things, it kind of starts to weigh on you. Kyle Shanahan, I'll use him for it. He keeps falling short. And sometimes there's guys like him who are considered great coaches and they could do this and they're geniuses, which they throw around with Andy Reid a lot. But the problem is, look at Doug. Doug Peterson went in because he had nothing to lose. I don't want to say it's house money, but he's like, that's my second year here. Nobody expected me to be here. So I'm just going to put all the stops and I'm going to play. I don't think you're going to see anything too undifferent from Nick Sirianni. And I think a little bit's going to play on that. And I think it will be where we could play a little looser and you will feel more pressure coming from Andy Reid than you would from Nick Sirianni.
Okay. Dom, give me your reason for win or lose and tell me about, is it more prideful for Andy Reid to win or lose? Is it going to hurt his pride or is it going to hurt our pride depending on the loser?
So let me first thank you guys for having me again.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
And I want you
love talking birds with you.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I love talking birds with any man.
I want you guys
right over there.
I want you guys to envision before I give my prediction. So I want you to think about this. It's 9:34 a.m. now, Eastern time. I want you to think about this about 13 hours from now. About 13 hours from now,
Shame on you, Dave.
we're going to be Super Bowl champions again. I want you to really, really get that into your mind. Really, really just think about it, like expect it, because that's what's going to happen today.
You're gonna will it into existence. Is that where you're going?
You have to. That's speaking into existence. You got to will it into existence. Eagles are going to win today, and I will say this: you don't deviate from your game. Like it's just they've been a constant. I've said it. Like Al said it too. Listen, Eagles have been a constant all year. They won at the line of scrimmage. They won with running the football. They won with pressuring the quarterback. I think at the beginning of the game, you might see a little bit of nerves from our defense and maybe a little bit of nerves from our offense. But once they settle in and realize it's just football, Eagles win this game. I know that the Chiefs are really good. The way I see it, I see the Eagles winning. I got the score 30-24. The first score that came into my mind like 2 weeks ago was like 36-32. I don't think it's going to be that high. I think it's 30-24 Eagles. I think it may come down to like the Chiefs trying to drive, and I think that the defense comes down with the last minute stop, and I think that the Eagles just win the game. I think as far as the pride thing, Andy Reid's a great coach. He already got a Super Bowl. Listen, I know he wants to get more. I mean, it would look great on his resume. The only coach you can compare him to, the only coach that can be compared to Andy Reid is Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick had the GOAT. So I look at this as like it's hard to win a Super Bowl. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he's been to what, 4 of them?
Does Andy Reid have the new GOAT? I mean, especially now TV's retired.
It's a good
I
question.
mean, that's my thing is he keeps falling short with considerably the best quarterback in the NFL, and the new darling of the NFL. Does that mean Andy Reid's falling short if he can't consistently win?
I don't know, man. I think it's really hard to just win a Super Bowl. Like I mean, Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls, right?
I don't know if you ask Dallas fans. Apparently, they can do it in their head all the day. They
Listen,
keep waking up every morning and forget. Guys, speaking of, I have Dave here. Sometimes the best team doesn't always win. So first of all, I want to thank Dave Yarnold for saying the Eagles are the best team in the league because that's what he's saying. And any given Sunday, Al, and yeah, good, tell Dallas good luck today during their Super Bowl run.
right. Oh, he's a Cowboys fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even acknowledging him today.
Well, listen, I mean,
Yeah, Mike.
Get it, Mike.
I've been biting my tongue all week, and I thank you for.
I love it, Mike.
Just give.
Yeah, stay away.
I want to know right now. I want to know who's the more sorrier fan base. Really, I mean, I've never seen a more sorry fan base and a sorry, salty ass team than the San Francisco 49ers. Shut your mouth. You got beat on the field. Go home or go on your cruises and just shut up. Stop going on all these shows saying, oh, if we would have had a quarterback, if we would have did this, if we would have did that. Shut up. You lost.
Wait, they had a quarterback all the way up to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we heard, right? Your fan base came here, was calling the guy Brocky, right? Well, guess what? Clubber Lang knocked him out. Or I should say, Hassan Lang knocked him out. Okay? He got knocked out. Shut up. Take your L. Go home. I'm tired of hearing this. They are, like, I'm sorry. Like, we have beef with Cowboy fans, but I'll tell you what. Like, the Niners fans just went over that. And I'm not talking about some of the cool Niner fans I know. I'm talking about these players that have the goal to come on. Oh, well, if we would have had this. Oh, dude, shut up.
If and buts were candies and nuts, every day be Christmas.
What's right?
Yeah, I heard it. I said buts.
He said nuts and butts, and he got his attention. I'm really like really shut up. And another thing too, these pontiffs that come on and do these morning talk shows. Nick Wright, Craig Carton, shut up, both of you.
He was a UFC guy, by the way.
Joe Rogan.
No, and Nick Wright, like he covered, I think it was at UFC. That's where he got started.
Well, I don't care.
And somehow he became an all-around sports authority.
I don't know, but he needs to go back to UFC because he don't know football. He really don't. In 2017, he said the Eagles would be the first number 1 seed to get knocked out at home and be an underdog. Nick, how'd that turn out for you? Again, you've been crapping on our quarterback all year long. Guess what? Our quarterback's going to crap all over your favorite team today. Guess what? It's not going to be close today. I don't know what. If you guys are scared, go buy a dog or a pizza or whatever makes you feel comfortable. Eagles run the ball. Chiefs can't stop the run. Okay? 41-17. And guess what? We are popping champagne by the middle of the third quarter because Frogger, a.k.a. Mr. Kermit the Frog, got to go up against our defense. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, guess what? Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got to worry about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes. He's only got Travis Kelce to throw to. The Chiefs don't run the ball. What do you think? All of a sudden, Andy Reid's going to start running the ball? Hello, we had him here for 14 years.
Dave's saying we're 4 behind him at the end of the day. No, at the end of this day, Dave, we'll be 3. We'll be 3 behind you. And guess what, Dave? I want to make it up to you. I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna do. Why don't you grab all the video cassettes of the Super Bowl wins, and I'll come over to your house and we'll watch all the Super Bowl games that they won back in the '90s. Just dust them off, get that VCR out, shine it up real nicely, and we'll sit back and we'll watch them. We'll watch.
I have a lot of friends that are Cowboy fans, and I like Dave. But you know what, Dave? Today's our day. Have a seat. Just have a seat.
Take a back seat.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to convince
Dave,
nothing.
How am I trying to convince?
How am I trying to convince myself, Dave? I'm out here boldly predicting the Eagles are going to smoke Kansas City 41-17.
Dave,
how am I trying to convince?
Who's trying to convince who at this point? He's trying to convince himself, I think, at this point.
So let me get to the last part of the question, Mike. Is it more prideful of Hurt?
Who cares? I don't care about Andy Reid's pride. I don't care about it. Guess what? Today he's
the Birds on the
He's the coach. He's the coach of the opposite team today. I don't want him to win a Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. And guess what? That's my mic drop. It's 41-17. You heard me say it.
By the way, that's a new segment on the show, the mic drop.
Yes, it will be. It will be. But no, Pat, listen. I don't care about Andy Reid. His time here with us is done. I don't care. I don't worry about his pride. I want Nick Sirianni to kick his ass today. And I think Nick Sirianni's going to because we have the best team. Plain and simple. The Chiefs can't stop the run. And their secondary is garbage. I was trying to nice. We had the guy on from Kansas City. I try to be nice and respectful. But obviously, I've seen their team play. Their fan base hasn't seen our team play. Guess what? They're going to get a nice introduction to Eagle football today. 41-17 Birds. They're not going to be able to stop the run. The only reason I'm giving them 17 points is because they have Patrick Mahomes. If they didn't have Patrick Mahomes, it would be a wash. We would smoke them just like we did the 49ers, who was the best defense in the league. But when Kansas City beat them, they weren't the 49ers yet. Just like when we beat Jacksonville, they weren't the Jags yet. I'm tired of hearing about, oh, well, you gave up 40 points to Dak. Yeah, accidents happen. What happened after that?
Even good teams have down games. It happens.
Listen, I was one of the guys who didn't poo-poo on the Cowboys when Dak went down. I said that the Cowboys were good enough. Cowboys got a good team.
All right.
But now let's go to your prediction.
My
plum shirt.
Listen, plum shirt is – I'm with you, Mike. I'm in the same canoe with you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I used to be scared to sleep by myself. I used to have teddy bears, okay? I used to sleep wet in the bed. That doesn't happen no more. Okay, Mike?
I want to ask his wife. I don't believe that.
So, anyway, but all serious aside, all year we sat at this table giving predictions, and I used to be the one guy biting my nails. I don't have that no more. I don't have it. I've listened to these national people who told me, look out for the Giants. Smash. They got smashed. Look out for the Niners. They got a hot Brock Purdy, and they got the number 1 rated defense. So what happened?
Smashed.
And then we got this Kansas City Chiefs. Everyone's so hyped on it. Everyone wants Patrick Mahomes be this number 1 guy who's going to wreck this Eagles team. I got newsflash for it. It's not going to fucking happen.
Whoa!
No, because I'm sorry.
Pat with the F-bomb.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm tired of the disrespect from these people who disrespect this team. Long overdue. I'm tired of people telling me Jalen Hurts is not good enough.
Give it to him, Pat. What's the score?
The score is going to be 41-10 Birds. They're going to blow out the word. Mitchell is going to get some work in.
Mitchell's going to
tired of it.
Well, I know what I'm clipping out today.
Oh, boy.
I'm tired of the disrespect of this Eagles team.
Yes.
And the Eagles are going to march all over Patrick Mahomes. They're going to stop him. Oh, he's good under pressure. So what? That don't.
He ain't good under pressure. Listen,
they're going to sack him like a sack of potatoes.
His Super Bowl stats: 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
Is that really the stats?
Yes, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
They're coming.
I'm not worried about
They're
Patrick
going to
Mahomes
play
today.
against a real team. Everyone tells me about the KC O-line. KC O-line hasn't seen nothing like a Lane Johnson on that front court or a Jay Mulata protected Jalen Hurts. That man, they're going to come to you. You saw the Jalen Hurts.
He's so nuts, dude. He's tongue-tied right now. I love him. I love him.
saw Lane Johnson's Instagram post. That man is ready for war. And damn, this team's got disrespected by Brian Daboll's winning coach of the year. Give me a break. This guy is 14-3, his second Super Bowl. I mean, his first ever Super Bowl in his second year. Give me a damn break.
Listen, Sirianni didn't get recognized for being coach of the year. Brandon Graham didn't get recognized for comeback player of the year. Hassan Reddick got two
Geno
votes.
Smith. Who got benched? Whose fault's that?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, Hassan Reddick got 2 votes. Which, by the way, Cowboys fans must be really mad because Mike didn't get no votes for defensive player of the year. Okay.
Who they got going to come after Lane Johnson? Who they got coming in attack?
They got Chris Jones. That's the only guy they have.
Who they got in the second in that
nobody.
Court? Who
Travis Kelce. That's it. It's Kelce.
Swash.
It's Kelce, Juju, and Mr. Hands for Feet.
And to answer my man Dave's question about Dallas, Dallas is going to get a Super Bowl day, but not the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert.
He's going to be my X factor.
That'll be the first Dallas ring in 20-some years, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, Dave, look at it this way: at least Dallas gets a ring today. But I have to take shots because you brought up 4. That we're still 4 behind you, but it's been.
There's probably a good chance that we'll catch up to you before you can get another one. I mean, that's the thing is.
I'm willing to make that bet. I'm willing to make that bet with somebody that the Eagles will probably win their next 2 before Dallas sees the Super Bowl.
I just want the rest of the NFL and their fan base. Give me what I want. I want some respect.
Wow, I've never seen Pat this fired up. Like his face is actually matching.
Because I'm pissed off. Everyone's been disrespecting this team.
It has
From
been
day in, day out. Oh, the Eagles are. Guess what? If you haven't opened your eyes, open up, wake up and smell the coffee. The Eagles are 14-3.
14-3, and
with the best O-line, with the best defense.
And Jalen Hurts 16.
They got a front four like my man Sean Keller point. How do you want? You want Dominic Sue? You want Davis? How do you want it? You want to get Fletcher Cox?
How do you want it?
How do you want it?
You want a Cox in your face all day? We could do that.
Dude, you got clipped gold today.
Yeah.
I'm just pissed off.
You got clipped gold today.
I've listened to all these podcasts and everyone.
Nobody's going to give them the respect. The Chris Sims of the world, the Craig Cartons of the world, the Nick Wrights, they're not going to give the Eagles respect until the Eagles go out there and finally do it. What can you say when they beat King?
I'm sorry to my man, Matty P, and I love you, brother. But if this man, when he does it, will have 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. Yeah. Give me what I want, Matt.
My boy Insane says, I think it's the Eagles 34-24. Smith MVP for 2 TDs.
The
for Smith.
Chiefs are not going to get 24 points on this team.
I don't think this is my thing.
You've been told this all year. It's been the same formula from week 1. They make you throw the rock, and Andy Reid's going to throw the rock all day long because he has no run game. And guess what happens? That secondary relies on.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They're going to eat. They're going to eat today. Like I think one of the prop bets. We're speaking about prop bets. Take an Eagles pick 6. Just take it. Throw a couple. Take a $5 bill and throw it on the Eagles scoring a defensive touchdown.
People worry about Jalen Hurts not going to put so many yards.
He don't have to.
Look, wake up and smell the coffee from last week. He didn't have to. Once the Eagles saw Christian McCaffrey run the rock, they said, you know what, we can run the rock as well, and you can't stop it. And the dummies from, like Bosa, penalties all damn day. Come on.
Finally, like I said, 49ers fans, shut up. Go away till next year. And I'm not even so much the fans, the team, the 49ers themselves. Just shut up. Nobody wants to hear about if you had a quarterback. Too bad you lost.
Exactly.
Too bad. Now, you know what's funny? Raiders fans are actually trolling 49ers fans.
Right.
That's been the best watch because, they battle each other because of the whole Bay thing. But I'm telling you, it's been the best. I actually having Raider Nation back us up. I think that's great because we're the 2 most despised fan bases in the world.
I'm sorry. We're not Rocky today. We're not the underdog. We're Clubberland. We're coming to knock you out, AC. We're going to lay you out.
Oh, man. Pat,
we're Ivan Drago.
Dude.
Pat can't stand up for the next 20 minutes, by the way.
Yeah,
just if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. I've never seen him.
He might knock the table over.
I have no idea what I don't know.
KC,
Mo didn't feed him this morning.
KC, you're Apollo.
Or maybe
Creed.
she fed him something. I don't know.
I don't know.
You're Casey. You're Apollo.
Look at his
Creed.
eyes, bro. Look, he's like
Yeah,
demonic.
yeah.
He's demonic. He's ready to go.
I mean, really, that purple it brings up the fire in his eyes.
Listen, Casey, you're Apollo Creed. You had your fun and dance, and you got in there with it. Guess what? The Eagles know what they're telling you. We must break you.
Yo,
If you go down, you'll go down.
So what's your score?
I said a 41-10. Birds.
41-10.
Mitchell's going to get playing time.
I doubt that highly.
I don't know. He played.
Why would you put Minshew? What are you trying to save Jalen Hurts for the next game?
No, just let
That's how that's going to be. That's much of a.
Listen, I'm not. This is why I'm so confident in this game is because I've seen Patrick Mahomes perform in past Super Bowls, and I'm sorry, I feel like this Eagles defense is every bit as good as that Tampa defense that he faced a couple years ago.
To the Eagles fan base, told the 49er fan base last week, you're walking to 4 hours of hell. You're going to get tortured how you want it. You ain't going to be able to run that rock. You're not going to be able to throw that rock. Double coverage all day. Where else are we going to go? Where else? You know what?
I mean,
we got three playmakers on our wideout. So, I mean, we got. How do you want? You want Devontae Smith? You want AJ Brown? You want Goddard? How do you want to get beat up with them? I'm tired of the disrespect. Give me what I want.
Yeah, man. Listen. All I know is this: come tomorrow morning, there's going to be a whole lot of people that owe the Eagles an apology. And I'd like, and you know what?
Yeah. Oh, those guys already have it written out. I guess we were wrong. The Eagles were the better, or they'll just come up for some reason.
You know what they'll do? You know what they'll do? Like there'll be some people that'll stick to their guns and they still won't give the Eagles some credit.
Yeah, like
it'll be because Mahomes' ankle was this.
The easy schedule.
And he didn't have his receivers available. He didn't have his full cast of receivers. You got to play who's in front of you. You got to play who you have.
And that's another thing, Tom. People out there, who they have this meme now going around with Jalen Hurts with a clown face on this stuff, right? They said to the guy, "Oh, who has he beat?" Well, here we go. A red hot. Everyone who bought into Aaron Rodgers, right, got shut down. They shut down everyone in their path.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They don't have a chance of beating this Eagles team.
I'm sorry. Like I said,
the only way this Eagles team lost, in the first game was the refs had to help out the Commanders. Otherwise, it was going to be hell.
I'm glad we started the show early.
So
to be gone at the same time.
Listen, Pat. Listen, this is great. Yeah. Go ahead, ramble, man. Because to me, listen, I'm looking at it like this. I said 41-17 because I don't think the Chiefs can stop the Eagles' running attack. If San Francisco was the best defense in the league, okay, and they couldn't stop the running attack,
they couldn't.
They did. Listen, Fred Warner and Greenlaw are probably the two best linebackers in football, and they didn't know how to react to this rushing attack. If they don't know how to react to it, I'm sorry. That front seven of San Francisco's is way better than Kansas City. Kansas City got Chris Jones, and maybe if you want to add in Frank Clark. But Frank Clark, I got to neutralize him because they're going up against the best O-line in football. My line is going to take Frank Clark and throw him around. If he goes over the other side, he's got to face Lane Johnson. Yep. Chris Jones is going to be going up against Kelsey and Sayamalu or Kelsey and Dixon. Right. Like, it's going to be and trust me, dude, Lane Dixon's a bad boy. Bad dude.
Yeah, Dickerson's good.
So,
I like him.
This is how.
And he's been in the national championship game not too long ago.
And that's another thing, too, that what Rodney brought up. Oh, well, this is Jalen Hurts. Dude, he went to Alabama and Oklahoma, dude. This dude has played. Like, you're talking about, oh, well, they haven't played. They haven't played. Bro, you ever been to Tuscaloosa on a Saturday? They got 100,000 people there. Uh-huh. This kid's played in front of 100,000 people, not 70.
What does Andy Reid what with that defense is going to stop our run game? What? I mean, we have guys on that front.
They have nobody, dude.
Who's going to create holes all day long and punch you in the belly. You're going to have nothing to fight with. You have nothing.
Dallas Goedert's going to eat today. Dallas Goedert's going to eat. Yeah. Now, I think those guys.
This is Andy Reid class A. He loses to this Reid.
I don't know about that.
He's retiring him and everything.
We're going to beat him.
He might have him. He might have him in a coffin at the end of this rant. We don't know.
Yeah, I love my boys. But let's get out of here, guys.
But don't forget, go to Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, the greatest bar in Delco. You'll have a great time, great food, great drinks, great people, all the time, anytime. You never know who's going to stop by there at Dolan's. Go to dolansbar.com for all the information. And if you get fired up and you get a little fisticuffs or you get in trouble, David Archerry is your man. SherryInjuryLaw.com or 610-565-0300. Workers' comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. He's got you covered in all aspects. Call 610-565-0300 or simply visit SherryInjuryLaw.com. And yes, the big game is today, but there's a lot of other games in Philly sports in around the area. Concerts, theaters, you name it. Sherry'sTickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. Promo code EOP10 will get you 10% off your total order. And there is no, and I repeat, no hidden fees at Sherry's Tickets. The price you see will be the price you pay. And guess what? Great prices over at Philly Sports Trips as well. If you're not going to be local and you want to travel with your team and travel with fans, go to phillysportstrips.com. Here's just a list of things between now and the end of May. Some new things have already popped on, and plenty of things over the summer. Different trips to fit different budgets. You name it, they got it. Travel like the pros with phillysportstrips.com.
Yeah, so guys, look, we got a Super Bowl Sunday. We got a Flyers game today. We have everything going down. So, guys, check us out. Next week, we will be reacting to the show. And, guys, in just a few minutes, so about at 11 o'clock a.m., check out those all across.
All across.
Those guys are really good. They're going to talk.
And our pregame will be at 5 tonight.
5
o'clock.
So,
Okay.
guys, get your wing dings, get your cheesesteaks, and enjoy these guys, the Pain Lines, the EOP family. We're going to be talking pre, half, post. We're going to be breaking it all down. And, guys, it's
Al,
only
one last time. We got to show what Pat's going to be doing tonight, 11:30.
yes.
There's Pat tonight.
On the streets of Philadelphia.
On the streets of
greasing up.
Philadelphia. Look
I
how
love
he's
it.
looking at that pole.
I'm going to take that poll. That's why I see those eyes.
Yeah, that is great.
Many people have seen those eyes from him before. I will
Yes.
I will take that poll.
Yes, on the knees, however you want.
But you know what, Pat? It's been fun. Go Birds. And I'll tell you what. I know. Oh, that's right. You're going to be stuffing dogs in your face. Al, what are you doing for your meal?
My buddy is going to his house, and we got a lot of things coming up, but like smoked brisket, we got it all, man. Pulled pork. It's going to be a good time. Meats galore. I'll have the meat sweats by the end of this. I'll have the victory sweats and the meat sweats.
Dom, what are you doing?
Oh man, I'm going to my my grandma's house to chill with my brother and my uncle. We're doing a bunch of food today. My sister's going to make some sliders. Some
I love
T6 sliders. She made T6 sliders too, so they're really good. I'm bringing up some pizza. My uncle's doing. He's gonna. I think he's gonna.
So you have like the Philly smorgasbord.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm doing. We're doing nachos.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do beef or steak yet, like cheesesteak. So I might do cheesesteak nachos.
Now I might do some nachos too.
Yeah.
You got
I got the Velveeta. I got the Velveeta in the crock pot as we speaking. So I'm looking at it like this, man. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
One more.
Go Birds.
E-L-G-L-E-S.